Hello everyone, welcome to this endgame. Today we're going to be learning how to win with a king and a rook versus a lonely king. So this is a quite interesting position that we have to understand and we have to learn as well, because if you have this kind of advantage in a game, you want to be able to convert it into a point. So let's see what are the plans for this kind of positions. So at this point, you notice the black king has a lot of space on the board. The mark of this rook is not very wide, meaning the king could move anywhere inside this rectangle that I just created. Now, if I want to win this, I want to start by shortening the space of the enemy king. So I'll do that by moving my rook forward, and notice how I claim a lot of space on the board. After this, notice I will not move my rook again until I have to use it to claim more space. So beside that, I will just move my king. It's not about checking the enemy king, but about taking away the space from the enemy king. This will be our first step in this endgame. Now, king goes forward, attacking the rook, and I move my king to defend my rook. King goes back and I move my king to d4. Notice that I did not move my rook, I just moved my king, and I am claiming space on the board. For this endgame, I need to use my rook and my king. My rook alone cannot do it, so I need to use both of my pieces. Black moves king to the side, and now I use my rook to go forward, and I just claim another rank on the board. King moves to this side, and now notice I'm not going to move my rook, I move my king around my rook. So my opponent has to go away from where my rook is, and I will be able to claim some more space on the board. King moves, and I play now rook to d5, claiming now the d file for myself. King goes to b6, and now again I bring in my king. King goes to c6, and I leave my rook there, and I just move my king around my rook. King moves, and I bring my king forward. Notice how the enemy king is being left without a lot of space to move around. King moves, and then here I claim more squares, now taking the 6th rank. This one requires patience. Okay, it's very important to have patience for this one, but it's not really all that difficult. King moves, attacking the rook, and again, I'm not going to move the rook. I will just move the king to the side, holding my position. King moves, and now I claim more space. Notice how the king is being stifled, being left with very few squares to go to. King moves to the side, and now I make the move king to c5. King move to b7, and now I play here king to b5. Notice controlling that the king will not have much space. King moves, and now I play a check. This will force the enemy king to go down, and once the king goes down, he will be completely left with only one rank. So he goes to h8, to b8, and here I will just move king to b6, holding my rook, defending my rook, and the king only has one square to go to, which is a8. Notice that after the king is on a8, I could just check the enemy king, and that will be checkmate, since the king cannot move to the side and cannot move up. This technique is very good. You could apply it in every endgame like this. It's just that you will have to apply a lot of patience during your game. All right. Now I will show you in a little bit another position, okay, from which maybe in your game you don't have to do all this work. Maybe in the position that you see, you could claim all of this space one time. So let's see what I'm talking about. I will bring a new position and let's see what is that about. Okay, I am back. Now, look at this position on the board, okay? The king is already on a single rank, in the very back, on the last rank. So in this case, we don't have to take away the square of the king step by step. With one move, like rook to h7, we control all of the squares in front of the enemy king, and in that way, the only thing that the king can do is move to the side. It cannot move forward, so I have to just bring my king forward, put it in front of my enemy king, and with that, I will be able to deliver the checkmate. For example, king moves, I bring my king. King moves, I bring my king. Notice that if he plays the move king to e8, for example, I will just play rook back and it will be checkmate. For example, king e8, I play rook to h8, and this is checkmate because the rook is checking the king and the king has nowhere to go. This is how you checkmate the king when you use your king and your rook. So let me just go back. And in this position, notice if he faces my king, then I will play rook check and it will be checkmate. So he has to end up running to the other side. When he runs to the other side, then what I will do, I will just follow him. If he comes back, I check him and it will be checkmate. So he has to continue running. I follow him. If he comes back, I check him and it will be checkmate. He runs away. I follow him. And at this point of time, he cannot run anymore. By the time he comes back, the king is in front of my king and I could deliver checkmate in just one move. Okay, and this is checkmate. Now, if you like this video, make sure and hit the like button. Also give me a follow and wait for more videos like this. Okay, don't forget to revise this many times. Practice it with your friends, practice it at home. Okay, and make sure you become a master of these endgames. Sometimes when you get these endgames, you do not have much time on your clock. So you want to make sure you know these endgames by heart so you could play them fast and in a very good way. Okay, that is all for now. I will see you for more videos like this. Bye bye.